From what you and I have seen here in colossal events so far, F.
Yeah, Sinclair power level really, really strong. Kelvin, unique utility, the way he shuts down specific brawlers that jump up high, use their ultimate, that's going to be a big deal. And Sinclair, being given the shapeshifter ultimate, yeah, that allows him some flexibility in addition to just the raw power that he gets by being that guy. And you want to talk about unique utility, Mirage, first rip here on the left-hand side. He's got a global ultimate, and that's the end of my notes. He can teleport wherever he wants, and that is a big deal.
So Vindicta, Calico picked on the opposite side. This is more standard carries coming out. I'm sorry, Fright Night literally just happened yesterday. And Hydronation, the returning Hydronation, who, again, the same Hydronation who are back on Sunday, they're coming back with the new roster. Lefa is back on the team, and he absolutely dominated with Vindicta game number 1. Dominated with Calico game number 2. I don't know if we're going to be seeing the same level of performance from GBG today because they don't have a Lefa to then pilot Vindicta and Calico. But the point is, it's a two really big picks off the board. Answered by Lash and 7. Lash is really powerful in the mid lane. 7 is... I thought for a while that 7 was probably like the only S+ here, but I don't know if it was the jungle changes and the value in the jungle being reduced that sort of nerfed his power. I still think he is incredibly strong, though maybe not like first pit strong like he was a couple of weeks ago.
I've always been a 7 hater, and I'm still generally a 7 hater. When I look at my carries, I really lean towards the Wraiths. I think that these are more reliable. 7 kind of needs a lot of the stars to align. At a high level of play, you force those stars to align. Shout out my man Dish Soap. Give us all the variants in the world. It's up to you to control it. So that's what our 7 players do, and can't argue with success. 7 has found a lot of success recently, so I'm kind of just yapping for the sake of yapping. Mo and Krill on the other side, good control, and really combo plus Vindicta. That's what I'm looking at. Vindicta farms by way of the ultimate. She gets a kill off of Assassinate, and she gets a lot of extra souls as a result. Mo and Krill make sure you stand in place so she gets that headshot. Yeah. It really is just that simple. There's not a lot of wombo combo in this game the way we see, like, you know, elsewhere in other games like Happy Feet, but, like, that's one of them. Make him stand still, shoot him in the head. So, great look there. Second round bans.
Yeah, right. I mean, combos in this game, especially with the current meta of deathballing down the duo lanes, is about the lane combination. That is probably the most important thing to figure out. What can we pick for our lanes that'll help us win the game? Win the lane, because winning the game is just an easy free fall from that point on. You still want to consider how the full team composition is going to expand out from there, but you don't want to pick a comp that only works post laning phase, because the laning phase, winning the laning phase, pushing the lane, once you won the laning phase, that's really the meta of the game right now. Even in pro play, that's particularly important. In solo queue, what we're involved with, what you at home are most likely involved with, just because the level of communication on the side of a team is really not that big. But even in pro play, where they do have that communication, it's still just all about pushing those lanes. And part of that's just because the jungle doesn't give you a lot of value. I think, what was it? Metro was calculating it out. One whole jungle camp, like a tier 2 jungle camp, gives you fewer souls than like 2 or 3 lane creeps. That is not high value at all.
Do the wave. Do the wave. Oh, well, great talent. Selected here for the GOATs on the right-hand side. Viscous being picked up left side. Worth noting, our 2 bans here in the second phase. Paradox and Holiday do a lot of the same, just sort of like gotcha, a lot of pick composition nonsense is what we generally look at of these. In addition to high damage, so just power being banned out here. Looking at our half drafts right now on the left side, I'm looking at some squads that kind of need. I'm looking at a squad that needs a little bit more utility. Lash and Viscous are going to be sort of like that frontlining like 7 and Mirage going to bring that power. But where is the raw? I'm buying the utility items and not going for some of those offense stuff. Viscous might be thought of it, but Abrams is really where I was guiding the conversation. I want that double initiate. And for my money, Lash Abrams, I love this combo more so than More so than a Singularity ultimate, honestly. I like these two.
Really? Yeah, no, I was going to say Abrams for Rice Cook. Well, that's not Rice Cooker. That's just the name of the player, I believe. For XiaoPang, Abrams was, I think, a really important pick for them to have right now because they need that frontline beef. It can't just be Lash alone. Lash is really good for initiation, but once he pops his Death Slam in, he's not done with the fight, but that's a lot of what he does in the fight is opening it up with that one ability, and the follow up from there is a bit more limited. Whereas Abrams, he gets in there, he stays in there, he stays on your face, and he not only can take a lot of damage with the innate healing that he has involved as well, he also can just constantly disrupt with the charge and the smash and just really make life irritating as all hell to the opponent, especially if it gets to the back line. Following up with a Warden. That's going to be a nice little composition here. Looking at GVG's composition overall, since they followed it up with the Wraith and Bebop pick, I think GVG do have more damage. If they get off to a because of the timing of getting to the lane, that might not be feasible. On the right lane, I am worried about the poke that Great Talon is going to have. I mean, Mirage has some good poke and answer, but Abrams is going to have to really all in and not even trying to play ranged. It's Great Talon for that. I mean, didn't land the poke, but still applied pressure psychologically at least.
Get up on in there. Absolutely. Yeah, you know, I'm with you. I'm a little concerned for this Abrams. I think that he might be a little bit of a fish out of water in this lane, but at the end of the day, I feel like Abrams, all of his lane matchups are a little bit rough. It really is just ego. Can you walk on the opponent's lawn and see what happens? On the other side, though, this Vindicta getting active early. One more shot will confirm. So she dives on in. Oh! It's parried, punched, and put down goes the cop. Great double kill here on the side of Block Gangstas. Both of them going to the Mo and Krill. Obviously, Vindicta heavily involved. You love to see that.
Yeah, well, it got low. I think the Guardian damage started to make things look a little more complicated, and the parry there. But no, it is going to be a really early double kill in the mid lane, and then Wraith following up with another. Viscous has already gone down. Well, who was it that said that thing about Block Gangstas not be getting ahead early?
I don't know. When you find out, you got to call me.
Yeah, someone smart probably.
Probably, you know what? Probably somebody, maybe somebody's smart, but
very intelligent. Only the smartest person. We know the smartest people here.
Smart plays from GVG because, I mean, look who has the lead now. It's your carries, right? Obviously, Vindicta is going to be a race to 3,000. You get that ultimate online real quick. The quicker you can get those ultimates out and start farming the extra souls. And look how far Abrams has to play. I mean, he's all the way back on his on the backside of the tower. As a result of that pressure we were talking about, it's going to be a tough lane.
Yeah, I mean, at least the right lane isn't that far behind in souls compared to everyone else, but we're saying not that far behind as a silver lining about like less than 3 minutes into the game. Things could change. We've talked about this every single time. This is not a game that... Oh, God, Abrams is still alive. How in the world?
Barely pushing it. Yeah, that was pushing him. Oh, what? Was there an errant shot?
Yeah. There was that. I think we just saw a random green line. I don't think there was a dot involved yet.
Yeah, no dot at all, except me. A couple of shots going over the top as well here. It's going to be in the other lane. The Wraith continues to push forward. That's the second death for Brian Boitano. Bennis on the good side. She winds up wiggling on out, and this is scary. Like I said, the Wraith is in my opinion, Wraith is your quintessential late game left click carry, right? Like you're weak in the early game, you get powerful by way of itemization, and well, she's scaling before you. That's scary. Full stop. Definitely not what you're looking for in this right side. The Calico and the old man not having a good time. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Vindicta also getting active. One kill goes down as Fenrir eats it off of the chase down from Blue. Pop up as well, no follow-up. And player still behind enemy lines. There's the Warden. Pocket Sand pushes him away. 10% HP, and I think both players on the retreat as Vindicta also pretty hurt.
This could be a way for this mid lane on the side of Future to get back into things because of how low they are in the timing of them getting back to base. But now they're fighting over a one big, huge, giant cube of lime jello. This is going to be able to get out of there. But the harassing of everywhere, including the mid lane, is going to be favoring Block Gangstas, even with the retreat and the return of Go Block Gangstas in the mid lane. Did Vindicta go down? And now we're looking at a fight of Great Talon going down. Mirage, very low HP.
Really well
Behind
played.
enemy lines. Go Block Gangstas, even if they're not getting away with it as like 100%, they're still feeling so empowered to go for these Guardian dives. What's happening with... Oh, tried to bait the point blank punch there. But yeah, you're right, Ego. They're diving Guardians one after another. And this is giving souls to XiaoPang. This could be the way back in.
Yeah, absolutely. Just an ego play there by the Wraith. You've got a decent lead, and then you give it right away. Brian Boitano also going to go ahead and get some money back for his 2 deaths, taking out Hypno across the way. And that is a way that you find your way back into it. You know, that's a little bit of a delicate balance, because right now, if you ask me what is the meta of Deadlock, it is in the name. The lanes are in a deadlock until somebody wins a lane, and then you waterfall elsewhere. And so these teams are really, really, really eager to quote-unquote win that lane, get that first Guardian down, get the early lead. And, well, we saw an early lead on GBG, but then you give a little bit of weight to the yellow side. Lash is able to yank you off your tower, and the follow-up damage from the teammates not going to be there. And so Porky Pig walks away, and Brian Boitano across the way takes down Hypno.
Bo's very low, but trying to fight back, chased down by the Lash.
Shoot him!
One left click is all that he needs. He needs to get that reload in. How is Krill still alive? This is a very deep chase, hiding around the corner, even entering back with the combo. Lash is too high HP for much to come from that. But hey, stayed alive for a fair bit.
That was fun to watch. Nothing really good about it, just fun to watch. As we see Large Seal go ahead and get another kill on this right-hand side. So it's been a good look for Go Block Gangstas. Bird punched up close.
The owl got denied by the stun. We saw Abrams' shoulder, I think, and the owl cam for a brief moments before disaster. And I think that's what saved Mirage, because Mirage was about to go down. This is some really good play coming out from XiaoPang, because they were seeming to be in a very, very rough spot. But the openings that happened from Go Block Gangstas diving Guardians a bit too egotistically, XiaoPang are right back on things. They took, like, there was a small window of opportunity, and they are now really answering back. Of course, Lash has to run away now.
There you are. Really important responses as well. Like Abrams down to a hair. He'll go back home. So the scrum on right side still belongs to GBG. The scrum on left side looking like it's going to belong to GBG. Brian Boitano gets pushed into the ball, shoved outwards. Now Wraith still feeling comfortable. Bebop comfortable as well. No ultimate available, but does have that hook. So they got to play a little careful here as they walk up to the tower.
I can't believe Vindicta is staying here. Seven's gonna have to play safe, and now Seven's too low to stand around either. I wonder if this lane wants to go back for XiaoPang. Warden goes down in the mid lane, so tempo's starting to turn back into Go Block Gangstas' favor over there. Great Talon trying to get cornered, but the Sky play is keeping Abrams out of the threat range. Still a lot of damage coming out from Mirage, and Great Talon needs to retreat.
Hypno goes ahead and grabs one. Bennis gets the other. And that opens the entire left lane up. This tier 1 Guardian's going to go down pretty much no problem. Meanwhile, mid lane, XiaoPang's tier 1 Guardian also down to about 10% HP. That right-hand side is already gone.
Guardians went down, about to get another drop. Okay, low, not dead yet, but I mean, come on, that Guardian's a dead Guardian walking. Not quite dead man walking.
The walkers are tier 2s.
All right.
I'll be here all week, folks.
Unfortunately, it's true.
I got him twice.
And Abrams was about to go down again. NZ, Lawrence, both with action in the kill feed. Lawrence still going for more. Combo coming out. Vindicta should be in a position to deal massive damage, waiting for the assassinate. And they're trying to farm it, but nah.
That pocket sand is so incredible. Lash shows up half HP, tries to take the fight. Does have a teammate to his left. But he jumps up top, gets punched down once. 10% HP, see you later. Blue's able to take that, answered across the map, and now we're fighting in the jungle. 3 yellow jerseys here, getting caught by 1. Blue Ridge falls down as Brian Boitano answers the call, shows up, and makes it happen. So it's a 2-for-1 in total for XiaoPang on the good side.
Yeah, so once again, I thought the fight was really going to be favored for Block Gangstas. I thought Vindicta was going to be able to get that kill, but I think it was actually cornered by Lash, unable to take Warden out, and then with a 1-for-1 trade and the rotation by Viscous, even with Warden going down, it was a really good response by XiaoPang. And I mean, there is still a little bit of a soul lead, but a lot of that I imagine is coming from the 3 Guardians. In fact, almost all of that would be coming from the Guardians. If those are able to be answered before too long, XiaoPang, they're still not out of this. Not even close.
Trouble inside here. Bebop's gonna chase it. No, he's being chased now. Thought he wanted to, but then 7 comes out of nowhere. Starts dealing some damage. The bomb stun is good. And around the corner, runs. But nobody chasing. Here comes the 7 ultimate. He gets taken down. What are you doing, buddy? Bennis again. The first one at 10K. Bennis again. Looking cute. Bennis again. Taking down the Warden player. Bennis just looking great.
Better with the double, so things aren't looking super, like, dominating by Block Gangstas, even with Bennis popping off, as we are well familiar with this player here at First Strike of really taking control of the entire game.
Here's the thing, though. Bennis, those are 2 different exchanges. Bennis was on the west side, and we saw the yellow team get those kills on the upper east side. Bennis here on the west side, 11K. As long as he's not the one dying, Block Gangstas, listen, nobody, I'm not saying it's a good thing that anybody's dead, but it's not the end of the world for them. Bennis is who they're playing through. And with the 11K Wraith, yeah, what happens when 7K Abrams walks up? He dies, dude. So your initiators being low and the enemy carries being high, that's certainly not a great forecast. I'm getting an umbrella.
Well, again, the side of XiaoPang, their win condition is stacking ultimates in a really big giant team fight. 7 ultimate, Lash ultimate, Viscous ultimate. That's a lot of disruption in the entire team. Block Gangstas, they have a lot of damage, but if they were to just, like, match up in, what's that one Super Smash Brothers map where there is no terrain? It's just a big flat field, Final Destination. Yeah, they're just a matchup face-to-face in Final Destination. I'm not quite sure that even with the damage advantage, they will come out on top. Thankfully, we're not playing on that map. They have a lot of tools to play with on eliminating the angles and sort of keeping things at long range with terrain between them.
Welcome to Lilac.
Speaking of
really big fight here on the left-hand side. We're going to fight under the Guardian, blue side of the field. Meanwhile, Bennis starts his off hot, taking down one of the tanks, and Zerbzy from a distance takes down the other tank. Lash, the only one alive that's going to be tanky enough to deal with any of this damage. Brian Boitano falls down as well. 4 players in blue jerseys are here, and they're making noise. Mo and Krill going to go ahead and TP on out, but the victory has been won. Left-hand side is where they're all focused. They, being the Block Gangstas, they go ahead and grab a couple of kills. Still, don't want to push onto this Tier 2 tower just yet, because their own Tier 1 tower being pushed on the right-hand side. And guess who's here? It's Bennis to respond.
Well, Krill dropped very low, but managing HP. 7's also down. Not even getting that Guardian. Even if they got the Guardian, that losing those players on the left lane, I still don't know if it would be worth it. But not even to trade a resource at all. Abrams also goes down. Great dodge by the Wraith. And things are starting to really look bad for XiaoPang.
I mean, things look bad for that great Talon. Gotta hit your stuff, buddy. Either way, one's up with a kill. Block Gangstas up about 15K. And I mean, hell, 15K's on Bennis. Lash from the other side, you know, pick people up, but guess who winds up with a kill? It's Bennis. Brian Boitano and Fenrir wind up with some money, and Bennis falls down for, might not be the first time this contest, but certainly the first time this era, because the last 10 minutes have all belonged to the purple Wraith. And so that put down, Cam, is going to be a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, unsure exactly how many souls that was able to give to XiaoPang. It's still a 10K deficit that we're looking at 14 minutes into the game. We've certainly seen worse, but with the scaling of Block Gangstas specifically, but also the way that just like death balls and stuff in this game work, XiaoPang are going to need more than that. They're stealing the jungle. They're stealing the Gamba stacks.
That's
Oh,
what
Krill's a bit overpushed though. So no, not quite solo. There is a great talent here, but not going to contest Lash and Mirage face to face for much longer.
Little bit of a bait there. Mo and Krill goes too deep. Somebody chases. Surprise, my great talent. Didn't work out that way. Brian Boitano rolling around, and Wraith's gonna fall down for the second time in real quick succession. Now the first death wasn't the end of the world. The second one, all of a sudden, everybody catching up. This giant lead for Wraith, well, she's been at 15K for about 2 minutes now. Lash is now at 14K. Brian Boitano has gotten 13K. The enemy 7 has gotten 13K as well. So within striking distance is XiaoPang. Previously, this was nearly a 20,000 soul differential. Now, just under 10.
Well, get back up to 10 with more kills like that. I mean, Viscous Cube just previously kept him alive long enough for the Warden to rotate up, but I think this Wraith going down is just going to remind him, okay, maybe I can't push too aggressively. Like, all these proper team fights are still looking really, really strong. Seven's trying to answer. The Warden went down, but I think Bebop's going to have the advantage in this 1v1. Trying to pull the ultimate, dealing the damage to a lot of players, but no kills coming out yet.
Decent 7 ultimate, spends everybody running. Meanwhile, a 1-for-1 trade. GBG still on the good side, but it's Infernus that wound up falling down. Abrams going to deal with Calico by themselves on the other side, so that means we've only got 4 players on the right-hand side, and they're still winning. Blue winds up taking down the Viscous player, and Lash on the run. Vindicta should chase this out. She's got help from people all around. Spots him! Got some! See ya! Fenrir, underground.
Had to find that angle, but once you do, the quick scope looks absolutely sick, and I'm sure the stacking buffs coming out of it are gonna feel even better. Earned pickup to boot by Zerbzy. 15K lead. If this gets dropped, despite it being in XiaoPang's side of the map in their territory, well, this is gonna go back up to 20, and that's when things start to feel really out of control.
And this is what, listen. They got a couple of kills to open this door. It's not free and clear, but it's certainly going to be less guarded than it could have been. 2 players here to play defense. One of them, the Viscous, who's been stepped over a number of times. Melee's not going to catch up, but the damage already being done on the floor. Infernus winds up on the good side. Earn still in the hand. Nice pull punch. Nice pull, bringing Brian Boitano back to the base. And unfortunately for him and his friends, not going to be able to get the Earn dealer down. And another pickup here for Block Gangstas, and they'll run it. I don't want them to run it. Now there's players set to play defense around there, and I think Block Gangstas understand, and they're going to walk it off.
Viscous, major damage coming out of this hero. Wow. That's going to be the Vindicta going down. Has to pop the entire ultimate to get out of there and avoid the great Talon answering back. But for a second, it looked like Block Gangstas are going to be using their Earn, and they might still be doing so to sort of force XiaoPang to contest them and really utilize their soul advantage to their advantage. But again, every single time they try and really bully XiaoPang, every single time they try and say, hey, we're going to control literally every single aspect of this game, they don't exactly get away with it.
I mean, really what it seems like is that FreeXP and GBG are evenly matched, and frankly speaking, I don't think these teams are used to playing against teams as evenly matched. I think that window of opportunity for the Soul Earn would have been made against a bunch of other teams. FreeXP stood up really strong and made it not happen. The Earn this time around gets put in, and a couple of kills wind up going both ways. 2 for 1, plus the Earn. All told, still a slight lead here for Block Gangstas, but again, I implore y'all to look at the individual grips, how many souls each player has, and that really starts to tell the tale. So listen, Lash is in competition. Everybody else is kind of in trouble.
Ooh, bit of a teleport right on the Mirage's face, even with the missed hook. Mirage is feeling a lot of pressure. Had to use the tornado to get out. Lash kept Bebop from pushing, but this is still the line of scrimmage that has just been slowly edged towards the Sapphire base. Or sorry, the Amber base.
And that's a great point, is that, like, yes, you're 100% right. We have seen this line of scrimmage inch forward, but it's inched forward. Good job on XP for keeping it slow, doing their jobs. Now they've got to do a different job by way of team fight. Here comes the Predator missile, going to stop Abrams in his tracks, and Enzi going to finish that one off. Great kill coming out from the Calico. Meanwhile, outside, everybody else takes care of business, and the other player, the Viscous, winds up falling down.
Yeah, and that's the
last. Will eat it on the left-hand side, and that cleans things up for Block Gangstas.
That slam, responded by the flying kick. They haven't got a kill out of it, though. Wraith is dropped low. Mo and Krill is continuing to push on in, forcing the tornado to get out of there. Now Lash is left all alone. They can focus all on this one player. So even with the commitment of multiple ultimates to defend this Walker, it's still going to go down. HP bars look low. Wraith has been eliminated.
Man. Give me those flowers back, XiaoPang. I gave this team their flowers for dealing well with the lanes. They've been losing a lot, but they've still been able to maintain a little bit of lane equilibrium. They're doing the maintenance. And then here, the Lash player just... I mean, listen, I've been there. Like, oh no, my team lost a fight. I'm going to have a hero moment. No, you're not, dude. Really rough decision there that... that might have been the moment. We go back and we look at the tape after this one in 10, 15, 20 minutes when the game's over. That might be the moment that XiaoPang gave the game to GBG. Rejuvenate.
Everyone!
By Block Gangstas and everyone that showed up.
Yeah. Listen, it was on for XiaoPang to challenge that. They couldn't just let it go, and they had a lot of ways to challenge that Rejuvenator, but Block Gangstas do still win it in the end. So what might have been the final chance to turn this game around, XiaoPang lose that opportunity. Block Gangstas with the structure advantage, with the soul advantage, with the Rejuvenator advantage, constantly still being able to go for kills anywhere and everywhere, not allowing any of their own walkers to fall. Things are looking scary. 7 getting caught out under their own base, or rather just outside.
Well, one mistake, two mistake, red mistake, blue mistake. Just getting caught out of nowhere. Listen, that first call, like Lash, you just can't do that. Objective mistake. The decision to contest the Rejuvenator, you know what? That is a fun Monday morning argument. I don't know what the right call was there. I might lean towards no, you might lean towards yeah, but this is certainly not the right choice. Chua MC just gets chewed up.
Yeah, you walk around a corner in New York City and suddenly there's a big mole man right on top of you, holding you down, waiting for their goth GF to assassinate you from range.
They call that the Lower East Side. Lash is going to lift 3 people up, put them down underneath the towers, but even still, doesn't seem to matter. The friendly base guardian does wind up falling down. And actually, with Venice falling down, this could be a moment for XiaoPang. They go ahead and they continue on in the Mo and Krill. But here comes everybody else. Damage from afar by way of Great Talon and Vindicta, capitalized by NZ, not once but twice. That opens up the shrine, and that opens up the entirety of the base pretty much. League and NZ continuously wind up finding these kills, and it just doesn't seem to matter who's playing D. Shot off of the rail and shot downtown. Brian Boitano gets sent all the way home, and it looks like it's all Block Gangstas.
I mean, you got to come back and defend, but at the same time, Vis is going down there. It's only making it worse for the staggering of XiaoPang. Wraith is back, so that threat isn't even off the table anymore. It's back to just the triangle, the trifecta of Vindicta, Great Talon, and Wraith. And even if they get taken care of, I'm still looking at Calico. Or no, please don't do it again. Please don't do it again.
No, please do it. Please do it. It's a nice day for a stroll. Look at these. Look at these Airbnbers walking down the block. What up, dude? What up, dude? What up, dude? See you later, Brian Boitano. You walked into the wrong neighborhood. The rest of the squad gonna barrel down this mid lane. Couple of players here. They're not going to stop Wraith. She's cut down to half HP, but nobody's here posing a threat. The rest of her team in front of the wall. Everybody looking at them. Now she's got a clean shot. Lash will answer by way of the ultimate, but Seven's already dead. Lee gets him from top. Lee gets him from bottom. And just like that, you're out of this league. Fantastic performance by the Great Talon. And the
can't even death slam back into the spawn. The Bebop pull, I think, is what canceled that. And so what could have been the final miracle?
That was the story for the entire second half of the game. The Amber Hand never once had a full team. They were consistently staggered.
Yeah, and looking at the stats, I mean, after that, we didn't talk about Calico
this time around.
We didn't talk about Calico all that much last time, just because we were so bedazzled by the three range carries. But Calico is also a very, very strong hero.
And Calico was doing something pretty interesting. If you noticed, we would see long range shots from both snipers, and then Enzi coming through, sort of like putting a dot on the entire conversation, right? Just like pew pew pew, Enzi, pew pew pew, Enzi. And that's like where, when Calico got introduced in the game, she sort of like, that was Shiv's role, the execute guy. And then she was like, hey, I'm that but better. And so she really filled that. Now, you know, taking her away, that's something pseudo-unique here. So that's what I'm looking for XiaoPang to switch things up. Taking Kelvin this time around might be a better look for them. Not only do they take Kelvin, but they take the Lash. So they take Kelvin and they take the guy that Kelvin counters. So we'll see where GBG goes, reprising that Vindicta and snatching Mirage for themselves this time around.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this now, and I think the Kelvin pick alone could change a lot for the side of XiaoPang. GBG looking pretty standard. They stole the Mirage away, but Vindicta and Mo and Krill probably gonna be back into the mid lane once again. It's just up to XiaoPang seeing this, probably, you know, on the same thought process. I don't see a reason why they would assume otherwise, that mid lane combo would be different now. Who are they going to pair with the Lash in the mid lane to be able to trade that poke damage? Maybe a Grey Talon of their own, but GBG banned away the Grey Talon to stop that from happening.
Interesting choice here, banning away the Grey Talon. Like, honestly, that one I have a little bit less insight into. I'm just curious to see where that one really lines up. Don't call it a mistake. Just trying to limit the raw damage output. Okay, I guess that's where my brain goes. I look at XiaoPang's draft number 1. I don't think it was a bad draft, but I do think that it lacked a little bit of traditional damage. And here comes GBG just limiting more of that those traditional damage options. So, sure. And free XiaoPang go ahead and ban out the Bebop. So, we won't see any of the pull either.
Yeah. So, I mean, there have been a number of, what was it, 3 of the last, 3 of the 4 bans were heroes that were in the last game. So this means that the Paradox is free and the Holiday are also free. Haze!
Sure.
Please
welcome.
Be real.
Welcome.
Please be real.
There it is. That's
okay.
the better choice.
There
Much better
there
choice here. Paradox is as close to a raw counter to Vindicta as you could really get, right? Vindicta goes up in the sky, Paradox pulls her to the ground, and then you doo-doo stomp her. So, yeah, you pick Vindicta and you pick her direct counter. I mean, that's what Kelvin and Lash did, right? Kelvin is pretty much a direct counter to Lash in his ultimate, so you pick them both. We see the same thing from GBG on this side as they try to protect their Vindicta.
Yeah. This kind of forces free XiaoPang to pick Holiday now, because you don't want to be giving GBG both of those ultimates, and you have a Mo and Krill off the back of that. That's just going to be point at one person. That one person is now dead. So 3 times over. Or in fact, they can even just do it at 3 different people. You're dead. Now you're dead. Now you're dead. Now it's going to be a 6 versus 3. You really want to keep taking this team fight? Granted, the Kelvin's going to be there to stop that, and then of course the Lash is not going to be literally free. But no, it's going to be the Viscous coming out. You have a second pick. Is this going to be the Holiday? And then the other question is, would GBG take the Holiday if it were available? Would they really double up like that?
I mean, last time around, I felt they were a little weak on the tank side, and it didn't seem to matter. If they picked the Holiday here, their front line would exclusively be Mo and Krill, unless Paradox is building tank, which, again, is possible. I don't recommend it, but you could play full tank Paradox. So I would like to see a little bit more of a tank here rather than go the Cowboy on the side of GBG. But as far as XiaoPang is concerned, Viscous, listen, I liked what Brian Boitano did here. I feel like I was saying his name negatively most of the time. But the few positive points that happened after the climax of the match did come by way of the Viscous. His ability to just pepper the battlefield with nonsense, just really, really cute. And so I don't mind the repick here. And we're going to see the Yamato selected for XiaoPang as well.
Yeah, Infernus, currently the answer by GBG. Still one pick available for each. I like the Yamato pick. We were talking about them needing more damage on the side of free XiaoPang, and Yamato is very easily a choice to fill that role. Not just strong laning, but also incredibly strong late game scaling if they can get that lead, which is the thing that they really needed. Not the lead. Yeah, yes, they needed that, but they needed some way in the previous game to have some ability to scale up.
You mentioned laning first, and that's where I'm going, because we saw Block Gangstas kind of win the laning. They won the laning phase pretty, and the thing is, it wasn't handedly. Like, they won the laning phase, and XiaoPang was able to answer, but they were always answering. They were playing GBG's tempo. They were playing GBG's game, waiting to catch the ball and catching it 3/4 of the time. Yamato, on the other hand, she is a pace setter. This is a sort of before I was kind of talking a lot about how Wraith is just late game scaler, and she got lucky by getting some early game. Yamato's the opposite. Yeah, she scales, I understand, 60%. But her base values are giga high, which makes her terrifying in the early lane phase. So if you had a poor lane phase, pick the character that has an easier time in lane in the early game. I don't hate that thought process. I really, really don't. Looking at Block Gangstas draft, though, this looks like a throwback draft. What's going on here?
Yeah, they locked in the McGinnis. I thought they were just hovering that. I was like, surely that's going to be the same as the
McGinnis
Paradox.
and Infernus.
Flipped to, I haven't seen McGinnis in a game in a while, and looking at the rest of the roster, surely this has to be a support McGinnis. Leading into the healing and then the stun wall. But McGinnis hasn't seen play. I think the only hero that's seen less play in recent competitive play, even consider that. So, no, it's a bit of a different lane situation. Lash and Yamato in the mid lane. They immediately hit the high ground. Everyone's fighting over the high ground. What's going on here?
Fenrir here to go ahead and get the kill onto the Vindicta player. It does get answered back by taking down Yamato.
Oh, no.
So an even trade, and the last kill goes the way of blue team. So Block Gangstas start us off up one. The important thing, the Yamato not getting that kill. That, I think, is the headline you've got to take with you.
The Lash got baited back in. I know Mirage was low, but Lash was even lower, and then at the end you could see that he was trying to then bait Mirage into a melee, had the preemptive block, but no, what looked to be such a great start for free XiaoPang, they just give a bunch of souls over to the Mirage. And we don't routinely see Mirage take over the game. They're usually in a more of like a position 2, position 3 in terms of carry position, but I mean, Mirage in lane now on the high ground, constantly on the Scarabs. Lash is trying to contest, but can't even hit a charge punch up. Mirage is now going down. They are continuing to put the pressure on.
Nice fall down there, too. I think Vindicta communicated, hey, I'm in some trouble on the bottom side. And so Mirage jumps on down, body blocks for Venice pretty much. And that saves is the big word. I don't know that Vindicta was threatened with death, but right now Yamato going to poke out a little bit. Not full commit. Smart choice. Meanwhile, Zerbsy, where are you? Oh, that's left lane. All right. McGinnis getting a kill.
Okay, is this carry McGinnis? Oh, now Mo Pro goes down. Okay, so Ryan, this is in the Warden. They're keeping it in tie, toe-to-toe. Keeping it close still. I mean, a 1K soul differential is really hardly a differential, not really something to notice.
I wonder why why the lanes went the way that they did. I really would have expected the Yamato with the Warden for those dives, but instead Yamato's mid. Warden's hanging out over here with the pig. And Boitano is really, I mean, I think Boitano had one of the rougher earlier games for the entire lobby. And now coming around and having a different outcome this time around. McGinnis piling shots, 7 over the top as well. McGinnis stepping forward to absorb some of the damage to her Infernus, who doesn't have the items on just yet. Meanwhile, Vindicta already grabbed one, looking for the secondary kill underneath the tower. Has her teammate dive. Mirage parried, punched, Fenrir now stuck. Not going to get baited this time. Another one for League off of the assist of Venice.
Yeah, Lash needs to stop trying to preemptively block the Mirage. Mirage is holding a gun in one hand, holding what I imagine to be a very rare idol in the left. He's not going to drop either of those to lay hands on. He's way too much of a gentleman for that.
2v1.
Constant fighting past the Guardians. Why are we seeing this every single game? I know the meta is win the lane, but they're not even fighting in the actual lane anymore. They're just going for brawls every single inch of the map.
Well played there. Real cute by Chua and Boitano. Playing it, honestly, slow. I think a lot of players kind of like the target prioritization before just the communication there. Look at which target, pick which target, choose it right. Venice gets jumped on here. Half HP, but turning and burning, dealing with the Lash. Mirage comes from the left-hand side to deal as well. Yamato has to run on out of there. So nice play from Mirage to support Venice again. Wow. He actually finds it by way of the Jin.
Yeah.
And now they're pushing on this Guardian.
Hitting early damage to the Guardian. They're not winning the lane necessarily in the same like bombastic way, but I think they might be dealing good damage to the Guardian sooner than the previous game. The tempo might be even faster this time around. We've got to wait for the Guardian to break before we say anything, but Infernus does go down. And they're still chasing the McGinnis.
Beautiful.
Frozen Shelter, gonna lock the McGinnis in. Just going for melee punches. Through the heels is a bit difficult, but it does not matter. McGinnis could not get out, and even with 7 very low, follows through to give some extra support, but Infernus is back now. Infernus could 1v2 just looking at the HP bars.
Very important play here on the left-hand side. No! Hypno winds up punishing the push. I was going to get there. Very important play from XiaoPang on the left-hand side. They were also winning on the right-hand side. They got a couple of kills. They were pushing onto the structure. And then Hypno, the Paradox player, comes out, pops the ultimate, slams 1 and 2 players. Great response to the response. XiaoPang, again, had the tempo set against them, Cam, but they were answering correctly, and Hypno came through and just made everybody drowsy.
Like, yeah. I've learned to just block out your puns at this point. I think it's the only way I'm going to survive. Mo and Krill, though, are they going to survive? They go in. I mean, it's some good damage, but not nearly as much as they're taking in return. Having to retreat under the Guardian pushes the pressure away from that structure. Now the Yamato goes in. Venice is down. Now it's a 2 versus 1. I don't know if this gentleman with the firearm is going to last against the Yamato and the Lash.
Nice pathing. I like how Yamato went to the right-hand side knowing Lash was going to be on the left. Hypno still continuing off-screen, getting the 1 and then some. And even here, 2 players alone can't find this kill. Venice is back. Lash dancing. Sheesh. That's the movement. Block Gangstas unable to really finish that one off.
I think the Vindicta forcing their opponents underground in the mid lane, that's the way to really get control back in the mid. But Ryan is not done with this. Misses the splatter damage, but still playing it now with the ultimate. With the follow-up of Warden. The disruption is major, gets knocked away, has to really scroll back through, but the Warden, the damage is there. It does not matter. The initiation from the Viscous is being followed up on. Mo forced the cube, at least for a brief moment, but Blue Rinse goes down. Warden gets a kill. Yamato goes down again, and we flip back over to the Mirage.
Great plays by Boitano. That's going to be enough to open up this lane a little bit. They're not going to push into the Guardian the way Mirage is doing here in mid. But they're certainly going to make some noise. So first, Rubble. And it's going to be XiaoPang's mid lane tier 1 eating it. Honestly, it hasn't even been raw dominance here. It's just been a fight at all times. And it happened to go Block Gangstas' way this time around.
Yeah, I can't. Honestly, there's been so many kills. I don't even know who has more than the other. There's a soul differential on the side of Block Gangstas. That's also a Guardian differential, and now major damage. Oh, I thought the big digit just rolled up, got an assassinate, and walked away.
That's what you do?
No, the kill went to a different player, but regardless, still, that's the Guardian going down, and that's 2 Guardians lost. And so now I'm really starting to get worried, even with the bloodbath, even with the responses and kills coming out of XiaoPang. They're just losing Guardians left and right.
Yeah, very different story from game one. Everything went bad for XiaoPang in the mid game. This time around, it's the early game. League takes down the Kelvin player. The dome is down, but so is the Kelvin. So McGinnis will pop the ultimate from afar. Mirage and Paradox showing up close. The 7-player falls down. Yamato will play defense, but it's 3-on-1. I don't know what you're going to do here, girl. Wall's out, and this should be a tier 1 tower as well.
3 for 0. They have the run of the map right now.
Yep.
Really just going to go for an earn run when that thing spawns in a couple of minutes' time. Because just the amount of space that 3 Guardians for 0 opens up for you, it feels like you're free. It feels like when you come home after a long day at work and you just take your pants off. But oh, Infernus! He's going to light his opponent's pants on fire, and Yamato goes down. Cornered by the McGinnis on the opposite side. So even with those Guardians, there's still no pressure being alleviated by Block Gangstas, not giving XiaoPang any room to breathe at all.
Great positioning here, dealing with the Warden. You see Paradox literally just on the line of that ultimate indicator. Really fantastic positioning there. Coming out from her. Kind of the opposite for Bennis, but you know. He's been playing so damn good, I can call that one out. That was rough.
Paradox looking for Kelvin. Has the carbine charged. Whoop! Comes across them. Doesn't have an ultimate to use to follow up on. Kelvin is forced to use the ice path to run away. But still, that's
for weeks, aren't they?
You cannot pressure. Especially not 1v2, but it's the Block Gangstas. They're just challenging anything and everything running around the map. They get the buffs, they get the bonuses.
Mid lane collapse. Mid lane collapse. Gonna be trouble for boy Tano. He gets pushed up by the Moen Krill player. Yamato is there as well, but she escaped. Now shifting over to the right-hand side, it's going to be Paradox. Pop the ultimate onto the Warden. Yamato is on the way, but Warden's on the way back to base the hard way. Gets a big heal, and he'll be able to turn around and fight. Paradox now stuck inside the dome, trying desperately to get away from Kelvin and the Warden. 10% HP for the Paradox, and Bennis shows up, taking down the Kelvin. Bennis shows up, taking down the Warden, and just like that, we're alive, baby! We're alive!
Paradox, okay, Hypno only just now goes down, but forced the Yamato to use so much of their own kit to finish that last 100 HP. The way that the Paradox was running around the geometry, running around the terrain was beautiful to see. Killed so much time, even if they went down in the end, the amount of kills that Block Gangstas got in return because of that stall and they rotated into it was massive, and now there is a 10k lead.
A lot of times I like to give hats off, a round of applause, kudos to the team in the lead because they did so by way of intelligent X's and O's. Nah, dude, Block Gangstas came through, they turned up the jam, and they just shot people while listening to their favorite playlist. It doesn't really seem like there's any real strategy going on here. They're just better than their opponent at the moment. 2v1 for this poor player, and down goes the Warden. Just a matter of time. And yeah, those heals. Real quick, can we ride along with Infernus and take a look at this build? I want to see what Infernus is building up here. And yeah, what was I telling you, baby? It's that Infernus going tank. He's just healing and dealing. That's what we like to see out of the Fireman. Now he's one against the world. I don't know if he can heal himself out of this one.
Yeah, that was...
3 players combined to take down NZ.
That was a bit much, but now 7 looks to be going down. Mirage, ultimate force in, but Yamato still gets sent back to base. Combo on top of the Viscous, and Yamato's here for emotional support, I suppose. I don't really think they were needed at all. Paradox chasing down the Lash, even brings the ult through the wall, and then Vindicta is there for what I assume was another assassinate kill.
That's the highlight play, though. Hypno, put that on your reel. I wanna see that one on Twitter. That was a pretty sick play. And now we've, you know, it's hurting a little bit. Baker's dozen on the clock. And Block Gangstas, they've got a 15,000 soul lead, sure. Realistically, nobody definitely running away with it. So these 1v1s are possible. Yamato goes into the ultimate, gets cubed up, turns around onto the McGinnis. Shots from the left, shots from the right, and down goes the clown. Now McGinnis has to run on out of here, being chased out by the rest of the yellow team. And honestly, she wiggles. She waddles. She wins. Nice job.
The danger lying on the other side of every single one of those walls. Around every corner. We saw it the last game, and I think we're going to be seeing that more. Just the psychological damage, the psychological fear that XiaoPang are going to be, yeah, exactly, that they're going to be feeling the second they step a single foot out of the base or a single foot past their walker. Xerxes does go down. Brian, I think, is looking to be getting away from this in close range. I don't favor Paradox in this fight. Waiting around corners once again, and now the Warden arrived. Hypno does still go down after all of that. So 2 kills for 1 on the side of XiaoPang, but they're losing their walker, so still not quite worth.
Trouble, yeah, this mid lane being stripped of tier 1 and tier 2 here by GBG. Paradox gonna avoid some of the nonsense as Infernus gets active. The left lane now pushed up a little bit for XiaoPang. That could be the lens through which they look to the game up next. They've got the tier 1 down in mid and left side, they being XiaoPang. So, tier 1 still remains in right lane, but ultimately a closer game than it might feel. Lash goes up, tosses 2 down, the dive kick is strong. Not aiming at the target, now here comes a rotation out of the Mirage, and everybody looking at the pig. 25% HP for Blue, and now he's down for the count off of 3 separate jerseys. Lash trying to get on out to chase for Mirage on. But Lash already did what he needed to do. The rest of the yellow team getting taken down! Hypno takes down the dog, and NZ eats right cooker. But again, Brian Boitano on the good side, but again, he's by himself. And again, it's too little too late. It's a 3-for-2 exchange. Go Block Gangstas on the good side, and they're looking at this tier 2 tower in the right lane.
I mean, we also the damage that came out of the death slam into the ground slam. Sorry, the death slam into the ground strike out of the Lash, but still took way too long to follow up on that damage. Get those 2 kills. They lost 3 in the meantime. Another walker is being pushed.
Push it.
Everything just feels too little too late, and Mirage is going point blank with the Yamato, with the support of Paradox. Another kill. Warden also went down when I wasn't looking. And we're looking at over 20k soul lead now, 16 minutes into the game. The laning phase might have looked perhaps a little more even, but the snowball that came after that, the Storm Cloud close range is not particularly fun. Bennis goes down, but a 1-for-1 trade after a use of that ultimate. It's still not really much for XiaoPang to try and get a comeback just yet off of.
Mid lane, 2 players in Go Block Gangstas, and they're being collapsed on by the Kelvin and the Viscous. Viscous gets folded relatively simply. The stun is good from Hypno, but a nice defensive dome out of the Kelvin will stop this chase for now. Here comes Infernus, and he's a whole different chase. Fire and Ice, and they're beyond this tier 2. There's a pull, a swap, and a kill. NZ gets the last hit off of Hypno's performance. And that should be enough for the blue team to push down these 2 base guardians. I don't know if they're going to look for the Shrine would have been a little much. And for a team that we found a little undisciplined, some of the wins that XiaoPang got in game number 1 was off of GBG overextending here. Go Block Gangstas extend just the right amount, and they peel back. A nice adaptation from, listen, I know they won game number 1, but it wasn't perfect, and now they're closer to it.
Yeah, it does feel a little more in control. Even
Which
with,
is funny, because,
yeah.
it's been an out-of-control tempo, and that's given Go Block Gangstas more control.
I mean, they're making it so XiaoPang, it almost feels like they feel as staggered as they were at the end, halfway into the game. Another corner. Lash is going to take it down. Lash is getting swapped. And Lash is probably going to be sent back to the loading screen. There it is. The burn does the final tick of damage. Once again, Hypno is reminding us exactly why Paradox, while not necessarily pick 1 favorite, is still an incredibly powerful hero in this game. Third Walker's about to go down. at
Real
least
quick.
Viscous gets the urn, so that's something to try and keep the souls not too far out of reach, but still.
Real quick, I want to point out Mirage. Mirage was at Block Gangstas Tier 1 Guardian. Again, think flex slots, right? He's at the Guardian. The minions were there. The troopers were pushing onto the tower. He has the global ultimate to teleport to the team if need be, so he can go over there across the map and take that fight. Taking the Yamato fight would have been fine. The 7 on top of it ensures the kill.
Yeah, the follow-up after the Shadow transformation was a lot of damage. The Mirage looked very, shall we say, like manly, masculine, unfazed, just shooting the Yamato, charging at. When a screaming samurai is running at you, it does take a lot of gusto to like not flinch, and Mirage wasn't. It was only when the Shadow transformation and the 7 showed up that they realized he probably should have gotten out. But at the same time, it doesn't matter. Trading one Mirage for a mid-boss, trading one Mirage for a Rejuvenator, I'll take that.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, and that's sort of like the impossible decision, but we've got some possible action here as things going the way of XiaoPang. Defense is coming out good. Hypno winds up eating it. Ooh, but here's the answer. NZ's Infernus winds up looking cute. XiaoPang, though, falling back on the right-hand side. Nice play. They get what they could. And honestly, man, they didn't win that. I started framing it like they won that, but XiaoPang did not wind up winning that fight.
It's hard to win any fight, though. Looking at the souls, it looks a lot closer. It was about 25 at one point. Now it's closer to about 15, which is certainly something. McGinnis hanging around the power-up. We just see if anyone, well, defending it and saving it for the Infernus. Man, Infernus with increased speed. Already being able to flame dash into your opponents, that's scary enough, but with even faster speed on top of the 0.5 sprint speed increase that we got just a few days ago. He's going to be running rings around his opponents, and they're not going to be fun ones because they'll be on fire.
Have you seen a lot of Infernus lately? Is this an oddball pick? I feel like it's...
Yeah, I've seen Infernus like once or twice. I've seen Infernus more than McGinnis, I'll tell you that.
Well, we see both of them in this matchup, and honestly, both of them are doing work. Hypno winds up falling down nice and early. XiaoPang looked good in the beginning of it. So far, to 2 for 3, even though Mo and Krill here now on the Viscous and everybody else on the Mo and Krill. Now here comes the rest of the team fight. Mirage getting cornered. And just like that, XiaoPang did not have the upper hand, but now seems to be putting the hand to the enemy business. 1 versus 2, Mirage underneath their own tower. And the yellow team looking good here. Cameron, this could be a moment for XiaoPang.
I don't really know where Vindicta was in that fight, but it looks like Hypno got caught out on the Paradox, and from there, with stacking the powerful teamfight ultimates on the side of free XiaoPang, they were able to win that fight. So if we see more of that, suddenly this game is an entirely different beast. In fact, they even have the soul advantage. They have 2 walkers, they just need 1 more to really equalize the map. So suddenly this game isn't nearly as much in control as Block Gangstas as it looked just a couple of minutes ago. Still, this deep into the game, one team fight can completely 180 the game state, completely 180 the face-off between the 2 teams.
I think a big part of that, a big part of what allowed XiaoPang back into the contest was exactly what gave Block Gangstas such a strong early game lead, honestly. It was just sort of a non-stop action, kind of ranked-ish feeling game, if I'm honest. Just kind of craziness, which that tempo gave Block Gangstas. It worked out in their favor. But as a result, with everything kind of going forever and not really stopping, XiaoPang had a moment to go, okay, we choose this moment to fight. And pretty much the opposite of how game number 1 went, I yelled at them because they did not choose this moment to fight. They all just played mellow ball. They all just grabbed the ball by themselves and decided to be the hero with the cape. And everybody just died, one by one, like a bunch of ants. This time around, different story. They pick up the urn specifically to force their opponent to fight there. Great choice by XiaoPang to get back in the game.
Combo being utilized, but didn't get the kill before the cube was able to come out. And now inside the frozen shelter, the goo ball is disrupting a lot of Block Gangstas. They're forced to fly away. No kills happening yet. Death Slam being pulled probably into a ground slam, and that is a spirit stack Lash. And the kills are following through. 2 down now for Block Gangstas.
Yamato's not even here. So Hypno takes down Fenrir, so it's a 1 for 2, but here comes Yamato, fresh and clean out of the base. Yellow team pushing onto the blue squad. Yamato's ultimate being popped, grabbed onto Vindicta, and down she goes to the hand of said Yamato. Infernus goes left, McGinnis goes right, and Hypno goes north. A good split up coming out from GDG. Mid-boss is down, so nothing really for XiaoPang to gain off of this as far as that's concerned. They should look directly, and they are going to look at this tier 2 walker in mid. They'll pick this one up. And then where do they go?
Going to the base, going to the jungle, but they got to get this walker first. Hypno tried to defend, but suddenly took a lot of damage, and now, well, took about the whole HP bar's worth of damage.
That's a good kill. Honestly, with that kill, I can... okay, that's fair. Again, right, wrong choice. Neither. I think you just make a choice. Lash shows up. XiaoPang could turn around. They opt not to. I think with that kill on a Hypno here, you're invited to keep pushing in, especially with Lash joining. You've got a 4-on-3 walking up the mid lane, and no Paradox for another 30 seconds. I wouldn't have been offended if I saw them push into that mid lane, those mid lane base guardians. XiaoPang choose to play it a little safer. I gotta say, I'm not mad at it. You know, you slowly clawed your way back into this one, Cam. They wanna ensure that they stay in it.
Yeah. And now with that Yamato looking incredibly scary all of a sudden, I mean, sure, they showed up to the fight a little later once a lot of the abilities were burned, a lot of the items were burned, but still that Yamato like 1v2'd.
Oh yeah, that's not a bad thing. That's choosing your bot smartly.
Yeah, right? No, it's great. So like if they try and burn, Block Gangstas burn their abilities again on people that aren't Yamato, and Yamato shows up, Shadow Transformation, that's a potential 1v6 already with the ultimates taken care of. So now suddenly Yamato is looking very, very scary. Where previously Yamato was going in and really not doing a lot, but they've hit the breakpoint, they've hit the spirit items, and now they've hit the rope on Vindicta, able to get around the corner. And now the Mirage is teleporting in to provide some backup. Yamato doesn't want to face that too much. Close to range, though, has a little bit of an advantage. Force the Shadow Transformation and force the rotate. Does go down, but look at the rest of the map.
Troublesome. I don't like that play from Yamato. We'll see if it waterfalls onto the rest of the team as we now have a full scrum. Hypno not here, the Paradox player all the way on the west side, as well as 7. So it's going to be a 5-on-4 contest here on the east side. Down goes Chua. Great play from the Mo and Krill, making sure that they weren't able to really fight back. So 2 unanswered kills here for Block Gangstas. Now wrestling control of the game one more time. 4 players on XiaoPang could defend this mid-boss. Kelvin's right outside. And 7's going to creep forward as well. Mid-boss taken down. Rejuvenator coming. Kelvin does want to be here. He's waiting up top. Also has somebody else here as well. Dome comes down. Blue team locked outside. The Rejuvenator's frozen. Won't get taken down until the dome falls. It falls. Rejuvenator. There's only 2 players up for XiaoPang. They get the Rejuvenator, but they don't have anyone to have it in hand instead. The steal isn't worth the deal. And Block Gangstas now wind up with all the momentum in the world.
I mean, what a brilliant attempt at the steal. The Kelvin dropping down, actually able to get the Frozen Dome out before the Infernus ultimate pops, which was huge because not only did it delay the timing of the Rejuvenator actually hitting the ground, it also just isolated everyone. It was only those 2 players in the Frozen Dome. So I really appreciate the attempt. Whether it was worth, though, at the end, after we see how the cards fell, I'm not quite so sure because, yeah, Free XiaoPang got the Rejuvenator, but they lost like 5 of their players. Granted, Block Gangstas, they still have to push a lot of the map, but they now have the soul lead. No one is... That being said, it's only the Mirage that has the souls able to go head-to-head against the Yamato, and I don't know, it's kind of 50-50 at that point. I don't think it's a direct win condition for Block Gangstas to force that 1 versus 1.
Yeah. That was a sloppy play by me. Bad call from the commentator. In all honesty, like, Block Gangstas don't have any momentum right now. Like, that's on me, team. They go ahead and they pull. Block Gangstas pulled that. XiaoPang was looking for a stop. If they wind up trading 2-3 players for the Rejuvenator, they don't get the Rejuvenator, but they're not really looking for, like, honestly, ugly play. But I think Free XiaoPang winds up on the good side. That worked out.
Oh, Yamato going in, backed up by the Warden. This looks like a McGinnis about to go down. So the support player on the side of Block Gangstas eliminated. I mean, that wall is powerful. Not only is the barrage probably one of the scariest sounds in the game, that wall and what I imagine is the stun unlock at this point can do wonders for Block Gangstas controlling and isolating XiaoPang. That's not going to be available for another 45 seconds, but they can defend their base at the very least. Lash is going back. It's not going to be a full 6-man push just yet. The game has been stalled out for at least a couple of moments.
Careful. I don't like this positioning from XiaoPang. We have broadcast vision. Neither of these teams realize that the entirety of each team is kind of right behind here. Stuck in donut, essentially. And like, yeah, okay, cool. XiaoPang had coalesced. They grouped up 4 players strong, and they were looking like they were fishing for something up far in this mid lane, but GBG had all the response players in the world, so XiaoPang, whether they figured out who was there or not, they decide to walk away, and I like that call. Waves now in favor of XiaoPang, the yellow team. And about a half hour in, Block Gangstas. Well, they won game number 1, Cam, and it feels like they've had a lot of momentum in this game, but that's why we do math and not vibes. It's basically a tie game.
Yeah. Just looking at that buff picked up by Free XiaoPang as the health buff, I would have... I don't know why they didn't give it to the 7th. It's always good to have HP when you're up in the sky on a big giant ultimate trying to hit anyone and everyone and staying alive, but hey, giving it to the Kelvin, that doesn't hurt either. He's going to be right up against your opponents, and he can focus his heals on his teammates and less on himself. Scouts up briefly, runs into the Infernus for a brief moment, but instead is just going to be going for the earn, getting an earn play at least into consideration. At the very least, it locks it into the midway point before the souls potentially swing one way or the other.
Shots from above. Watch out for that Vindicta. Trying to put down the Viscous. Half HP for the goo ball. Doing some work in this little channel, but not enough. Everybody winds up clawing themselves out of the pot. Now Vindicta stuck on the floor, trying desperately to get to the sky. Down to 10% HP, and she winds up wiggling out. Great play there from Bennis. But 2 of his teammates already fell down. Bennis actually does get taken down after the fact. Lash never gave up. And now XiaoPang, they've got the wind beneath their wings. A little bit of a stun here on the Mirage, but the rest of XiaoPang barking him down. Zervzy eating it. Mirage is next. And where does XiaoPang go from here? They've got no wave here on the right side. Oh
yeah, they might have won the fight. They might have won the fight, but the wave stayed. As you were saying, every single wave was pushed by Block Gangstas in the meantime, except for mid, but that was still at the halfway point. They don't have a wave to push into the base. They can't even get some of the Guardians. They might get a Guardian or 2 before the defense is fully revived on the side of Block Gangstas, but I don't think they're going to get any of the Shrines. They're certainly not going to get the Patron at this point. So it was a good fight to win. They certainly got a soul advantage out of it, and they're getting a bunch of souls off of pushing those waves.
It was so smart, because right before we went into that, we went into that engagement, I mentioned XiaoPang had pushed up all the waves. All 3 lanes were yellow. We see that fight, and at the end of the fight, it's blue. So,
well, they were able to get the Shrine. Aftermath, not successful, but yeah, they're falling out now. Paradox is chasing. This could be huge. They might have actually overstayed. If Paradox is able to get a swap, misses the carbine. Instead, is going to teleport forward. Viscous goes down. They are continuing this fight. Yamato is waiting for them. Shadow Transformation and the Death Slam right into the Kelvin wall, breaking their nose.
Big answer. I like that play. Probably not going to get much more than this. And if it's a 1-for-1 in exchange for the Shrine, that's a win for XiaoPang. They're actually going to grab one to go as well, taking down the Mirage. And now they feel like they can fight. Seven's got to be out of here. But Bennis is going to go down the hard way. And so again, XiaoPang more comfortable. Now they walk forward. Now they look for that secondary Shrine, even though they're limping on in. Hypno falls down as well. XiaoPang definitely looking for that left-hand Shrine.
This might be the game. Block Gangstas potentially overstayed, potentially running into a trap, but no, enough kills came through. The Yamato going down was enough to deter free XiaoPang, but they have the advantage. This is essentially a free mid boss. This is going to give an opportunity potentially to Block Gangstas to catch up back up a little bit in souls, get the wave state reset further towards the middle of the map. I don't think there's any reason, any real leg for them to stand on to go and contest this mid boss.
No. Much smarter choice. Not my finest day. I called them going for the Shrine. I thought they would be able to grab it. Instead, they opt for the mid boss, and I think XiaoPang made the better choice. That's why they're there, and I'm here. Just a smart window of opportunity here. The urn being protected by the McGinnis. Not really thinking about going for it, just really dashing it, goading players away, etc.
This is not one for free XiaoPang yet.
No.
Block Gangstas could still easily turn this one around, but the last one, it feels like 4 or 5 team fights. Free XiaoPang were able to come out on top. I think Block Gangstas, I don't know if there's how they can do this, but they might have to rely on the paradoxical swap to really get a solo pick.
Yeah.
But with the waves all be, okay, this might be one. Lands the carbine, doesn't follow it up with the swap just yet. Instead, it's just delaying things while the rest of the team is arriving.
Has help. Yamato goes in, but there's a couple of other players there, so has to fall on back, and I like that choice. Ultimate was popped.
That's something.
Not a huge deal, but something for sure.
They can now re-enter the team fight because look at Block Gangstas. They have all 6 of their ultimates. There's no Death Slam. There's no Shadow Transformation. They are going to have a huge advantage if they can capitalize on it, but they only have a couple of minutes, if that, to do so. I think they're still just stalling things out. They're letting Viscous get this urn for free. They don't feel comfortable to go for it. I don't blame them. It is still the Yamato and the Lash pushing up the left lane, giving the space for the urn to be dropped off. But if they're not able to take advantage of this window now, what window are they going to be able to take?
Well, this is certainly a window that XiaoPang wants to jump on into. Kelvin ultimate popped, and it's going to send Mo and Krill into the other direction. Lash goes up to the sky, and we'll look for a couple of players as well, but ultimately, it's much ado about nothing. XiaoPang going to hit the retreat here and look for the regroup. Something worth noting. This is the game style XiaoPang wants to play. They draft for the 6v6 Dota style fight. Block Gangstas are drafting for something a little bit different. So if we get to the late game, we're here 36 minutes in, 6v6 grouping. XiaoPang are happy. This is what they signed up for. This is why they drafted the composition that they did. Seven gets excited, dashes way on in there, goes up to the sky and gets put down to the ground. What did he get from it? Are players low enough to capitalize?
No, not at all. That might have been the throw of the game. What was Seven doing entering like that? There was no follow-up, goes down. Kelvin follows not long after, and sure, McGinnis gets down in a trade, but this is still a huge advantage in their own base for Block Gangstas.
Big play coming out from Boitano, separates 2 players and winds up getting 2 kills as well. So the defender's 4 players strong. Mo and Krill didn't heal up, goes on in, and it's going to be NZ that takes down Chua. Big play coming out from the Infernus. Mo and Krill should have healed, didn't, and as a result, falls down. 3 players now left on D, and then one of them is NZ. This tanky, drainy Infernus making it happen. Block Gangstas puts the back game on the back of NZ. Barely alive, but all you need is 1 HP in a dream. And Infernus, it's lucid, baby.
I honestly can't call any of these fights anymore. I thought it was done when the 7 went down. Like, such a powerful ultimate didn't really seem to get that much damage at all, but I suppose it was enough. And Block Gangstas, they might have defended their base. They lost a couple of base guardians in the meantime, and they don't have the timing, they don't have the tempo to suddenly push the waves back out. So it's about to happen once again. Death Slam up in the open, throws Hypno into the waiting arms of the rest of XiaoPang. Paradoxical Swap is no longer a tool for the next 65 seconds for Block Gangstas. And without that, it's going to be difficult to really grab those important carries on the opposite side.
NZ last game around was playing Calico and really was the late game hero. And here on the Infernus, doing just shy of 50k souls in total for the Fireman. It's kind of really fun watching GBG go from Bennis to NZ, right? It's sort of like a baton handoff. Bennis was running the early and mid game, and now in the late game, it's NZ that's really capitalizing on these, knowing just how far he can go into the team fight. That's multiple times that I look up at the top. I see the HP bar on this character, and it's a hair, it's a pixel, it's a flash. But he winds up walking out with 3 kills in hand. I mean, that's the kind of guy you want late game.
I'm scared. Hypno isn't revived yet, and you got Infernus on the left side, only just now swinging back to base, and it looked like Block Gangstas about to run into a stack of XiaoPang. Goo Orb comes into play, running over everyone, knocking everyone up into the air. Infernus stun comes out. No kills having gone down just yet. Hypno is back, being revived. Kelvin still standing. Fire versus Ice. Who comes out on top?
He's standing for now, and there's going to be 2 kills the way of XiaoPang. One's on the tank and one's on the util. So Vindicta, all out by herself, just soggy and damp and moist. 10%, running on home. The rest of the squad, though, spraying down water. Here comes the slow onto the 7. Infernus, anything but. Dashing away from the handcuffs, dealing the damage onto the 7. Low, not enough, can't drain. Now it's a problem.
Movement looked good, but yeah, it just wasn't enough to counter the damage from both the 7 and the Warden. They're not dead yet. Hypno's looking, I think he might have missed the carbine there and is only pulling attention from the Warden and the Kelvin. I mean, hit some abilities at the end, but the HP bar is just way too low with only 2 up now. They're damage dealers. The damage could still be there, but against the entire 6 stack of XiaoPang, this might be the game. This might be the tie, the 1-1.
Definitely a moment where we're going to see the push to phase 2. We'll have 4 defenders here, and then Infernus will join the party a little bit late. Scratch that. XiaoPang aren't going to pressure. They're not going to push the issue, and instead, all-out retreat. The right choice. And GBG will be able to defend the pit full strength, theoretically, as long as they don't get picked, etc.
Right. Mid-boss now is what both teams are going to have their eyes on. But Block Gangstas, if they rush too far ahead, if they just assume that XiaoPang are taking the mid-boss and they run into a trap, that is going to be game over at that point. So it's kind of a game of rock, paper, scissors in terms of positioning. Block Gangstas, they're only just now reminding themselves what the rest of the map looks like. They've been stuck in their base for so long. The sun is hurting their eyes. They got to figure out where XiaoPang are going to be playing around. Vis gets counted out by a tornado, but Viscus is still pushing in, even pulls the ultimate into play, followed up by the Yamato, but McGinnis is also here. The rest of Block Gangstas are all here, but the goo ball does not care.
Infernus shows up a little bit late, still ready to fight. This fight could be the game. Mirage falls down first. XiaoPang wins this. They go ahead and they just walk into the base. NZ, though, again, late game heroics, takes down Shua. Lash trying to find a way around the left-hand side. Hypno's by himself, and Zerby already put down. XiaoPang now has the win. 2 players against 1, as the Infernus desperately tries to make it back inside their own base. Yamato coming around the left-hand side, and 7 goes up to the sky. Not enough to really deter anybody, in all honesty. Everybody in blue still looking to play defense. There goes the Lash, up to the sky. Patron down half HP, not even aiming at the opposition. 3 players down, Patron goes down, XiaoPang. It was even in souls, despite the fact that it felt like NZ was getting a lot of kills. Boitano was still going to work. 9, 12, and 21 is not game 1 or game 2. Their draft didn't really behoove them. They don't wanna fight 6v6 applied directly to the forehead. They want to kind of find these little guerrilla moments, these 1v1, these 2v3, 3v3. And what went wrong that game? All we saw were 6v6s. Every single time it was 2 or 3 people caught out, go Block Gangstas win. Every single time we saw the big revolutionary war, my 6 versus your 6, it went the other way around. So that's the big difference. It's up to Go Block Gangstas to not allow that to happen. Reminder on the drafts, right side is Go Block Gangstas, left side is going to be XiaoPang. So offer it. We've got the Calico and the Magician band one more time. First pick, Kelvin, going the way of XiaoPang.
Yeah, this is looking to be pretty mirrored, if my memory serves me correct, in the previous game. I mean, I know the left side is the exact same. I think Mirage might have been picked over Vindicta, but they were picked in the same phase regardless. I mean, Sinclair, at least in this matchup, is still considered such a demon in the laning phase. Even with the nerf damage, it still does so much. Especially as we've seen previously, if they can get up on the high ground and the middle ground, it makes total sense why GVG continue to, or actually both sides continue to ban it when they don't have first pick. Great Talon comes out, so we're going back to the double flyers. That is going to be let through by XiaoPang there. And the Viscous ban.
I like this choice. I like this choice because this is one of the benefits we get, not just us, but the players, as a result of a best of 3. Yeah, you could have done your homework and realized that Brian Boitano has played Viscous virtually every single time he's on our screen. But if you didn't, and you watch game 1 and 2, well, you ban him out here. Because in game 1, when XiaoPang lost, they had a good early game and a bad second half of the game. But the one guy that was performing was Brian Boitano on the Viscous. And a big part of what allowed them to win in some of these team fights was Brian Boitano on the Viscous. So, don't ban it. They're going to swap to a Yamato ban.
I mean, Yamato was arguably a greater reason why they lost. That late game powerhouse.
I'm not.
I mean, well, okay. Let's just look at the numbers. They're 1-1 against the Viscous. They're 1-0 against the Yamato. So statistically,
I hate wrong answer. You could have definitely given me better. Wrong answer. Results-based thinking. Next.
It's not result. It's stats based. Am I wrong?
I refuse the question.
You can choose to extrapolate what you want. I was just laying the data out there. I wasn't even arguing that that's the reason why. I was arguing that it's potentially the reason why. Oh, okay, so the Viscous does unsurprisingly get picked up by the free XiaoPang and the Paradox. Okay, so things are starting to get mixed up now. Now they have the Paradox, now they have the pick potential alongside the stacking ultimates of the Kelvin and the Lash and the 7 and the Viscous.
This is all of a sudden, like, this is a much better draft than XiaoPang has really gotten. I don't think XiaoPang has gotten a bad draft, but they haven't had a good draft. Are you, like, I'm making sense here, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree so much.
Okay.
I mean, I think their first draft definitely had holes in it. Their second draft was looking pretty good, even though I'm still not quite sold on the Warden, but that's probably more of a personal bias than anything.
Yeah, I feel like fine is a good word for their drafts. There wasn't anything specific. Hey, it's your favorite character. There wasn't anything specific that...
I saw it. It was Kelvin and 7 left lane, and then... Oh, no, it's Paradox mid. Okay, that works too.
I've got my eyes closed. I think it's going to be 7 and Kelvin on the left side. I think it's going to be Warden and Brian Boitano on that right side. My eyes aren't closed. They're wide open. Lash is right in mid already. This is exactly how we started game 2.
Yeah. Well,
high action looking for that high ground. Yeah, that's true. That's true. There was already like 3 deaths. But.
Yeah. But hey, there might be one quick enough as it is. Well, yeah, there is, because Rice Cooker goes down. The Kelvin gets eliminated in the right lane, and I think, well, Abrams looking to get traded. But no, Abrams just bait for the 7. That's 2 kills. I mean, it's only been a minute, but laning phase once again, 3 games in a row, won by Go Block Gangstas.
Go Block Gangstas in blue on the right side of your spectator UI. The amber hand will be those XiaoPang doggies. Wow. already. Playing on the opponent's curtilage here. Mid lane, not really a threat, which this is the downside to that Mo and Krill Vindicta lane. Once a couple of waves and an item or two get online, you really start having some business. But before that, before all your abilities come on, you really can just be pushed down. And so it's about not dying. Your goal is not to win, it's just to not die. Boitano does just that. No Jin. The shot can't land it either.
Close enough. Very fun to use the mark floating above the heads to be able to get some extra information above those walls. But yeah, very low HP on the side of XiaoPang. This Mirage is just an open shooting gallery and denying souls as well. That's the most unfortunate part. I mean, what? Mirage at 1.2k? That's twice the souls. Well, Viscous, why are you going in?
Don't love that. A little bit of a bait for the Warden, maybe, but Warden falls down. All Mirage has to do is look to the right, and Boitano goes down as well. Curious, interesting, whatever euphemism you want to use. Much love, boys. That was dumb.
Yeah, I don't even know what the idea was. Lash goes in, ground slam. What? Where was Mo Krill coming in from the sky, holding above like Spider-Man, and then just slams back down in return. Anything you can do, I can do better. Type conversation going on there. Lash dips around the wall to get out. Such low HP. Doesn't leave lane yet. But I'm just, this lane is looking even, this laning phase is looking even more dominant this time around. Warden's about to go down again. Are they? We have to actually ask the question at this point. Are they feeding, like intentionally feeding? Because
no. I'm gonna defend XiaoPang on that one. This looked like a really good lane on the right hand side. They were pushing up. NZ positioned perfectly. Came around with the wrap. Knew exactly where to stand. Now we shift over here. Dealing with Kelvin on the left hand side. 1 versus 2. Got to watch for this wrap. 2 players strong. It's gonna be Abrams with that push. If he's able to push that player, here comes Pocket, tanking the tower. Bennis combines with the Abrams player, taking down Rice Cooker. And NZ across the way in the right lane, deals with Viscous again. Mirage dives, uses the tornado to dodge the handcuffs, and push Chow underground.
this, I mean, XiaoPang can come back from a deficit, but this is looking like absolute material control on all 3 lanes. This is looking even worse for where I don't know what Block Gangstas were able to sort of like figure out and calculate off of the previous game, and then the stake comes through. Lash is about to go down. The Crows taking them very, very low. It's away from cover, or it gets behind cover rather, and so no assassinate really available yet, even just in terms of having it unlocked, but also the angle. You don't.
I got you. Rice Cooker now, just getting cooked. The up, down, strong. Bennis off of the assist of the Abrams player again. Winds up getting another kill onto the Pocket. Worth noting, Bennis played the hard carry for games 1 and game 2. Now on the Pocket. Are we seeing a hard carry Pocket?
No, I mean, Bennis was on the Vindicta game 1, not game 2. I was watching more kills happen, because it's kind of just the name of the game and the status quo at this point. But no, they've shown that they have multiple players that can play Vindicta. It's just figuring out who is more comfortable with whom. Pocket isn't necessarily like a position 1 carry, more a position 3, but I mean, at this point, probably position 4 looking at Mirage and great talent. But
yeah. Pocket's always a little bit weird. She's they're an initiator that deals some damn. An interesting, like, very rarely, if ever, would I see a, hard carry Pocket. But
yeah.
Crazier things have happened, I suppose. Nice little puddle punch there. Unfortunately, I don't think Boitano wanted the Abrams to come with him. 7 will support. So the 2v1. Nice answer from 7. Sends the Abrams packing. Winds up rolling in. And there's somebody waiting there. Rice Cooker. Ouch. Not the player that wanted to see it. So we do get 1 answer from XiaoPang, and is on Boitano.
Green Walker is under attack.
Yeah, so go Block.
Wait a second. Did that say Walker?
Yeah, they're already on the Walker. That's how aggressively the right lane is pushing down. And they're still getting more kills here. I mean, sure, there was... Kelvin got 1, Rice Cooker got 1. But that really felt like that's it.
Yep.
I honestly don't know like really how to talk about the state of the game right now. Really, it's just Block Gangstas getting kill after kill after kill after kill. Maybe there's going to be a trade coming out for XiaoPang, but it's not nearly as guaranteed this game. Yet last game or even the game beforehand, you'd be like, oh, well, there's going to be a kill, but sure, there's going to be a trade back, right? It's going to be even. It's going to be a slow drip of soul advantage for Block Gangstas. Right now, it's just like they started playing as if they had the lead before they had the lead, and now they have the lead. Well, you see where I'm going from here.
Yeah, Lash is going to go up in the sky, look for an initiation onto the Mo and Vindicta. Vindicta's still on the ground. Meanwhile, Paradox getting chased out by that Mo and krill. Combo is good. Fenrir, though, answers back, and there's one for Xiao as well. Paradox will fall down here eventually, but it's a 1-for-3 exchange going the way of XiaoPang. Things starting to get a little out of hand, and just like that, XiaoPang's able to answer. A kill onto this Mo and krill would be huge! Fenrir, get the brutalize! 10% HP for the Mo and krill, but now the Lash is down in HP as well. That looked like a fight that he should have won. Instead, what is it, 5k to 6k? Oh my goodness. Just straight out played by the Mo and krill.
Game of inches. Playing around walls, playing with the melee and the block and all of that stuff, and the Mo and krill got out, stayed out. Paradox go swap to just disrupt Pocket's positioning. But now Paradox is having to run for their life. Dodging the missiles, dodging the bombs, dodging the all utility, but can't quite dodge a shotgun. Not
All
too
tier
much, but
ones now taken by Goat Block. It's gone.
this is what, a 15k lead, 8 minutes in? This is one of the strongest leads, just looking at soul lead per minute, that we've had in a while. There was one game that I think was around this amount, but oh, Warden. Oh, baby. Okay, doesn't go for it.
He does not want that. 5k, looking at 9k on the Mirage. Yeah, that's an L. Instead, it's going to be Paradox versus the Pocket and the Mo. And we'll see you later. Hypno.
Our blue walker is
Good stuff. Menace. Great stuff. Yeah, in my professional opinion, I think the word they use is bad. That's what's happening. This is bad, man. Not a great performance here, unfortunately, for XiaoPang and their fans. The 7-player falls. Zerbsy gets another one, and that one came by way of Assassinate, so that's just going to continue the snowball here for Vindicta. Handcuffs come out. Great dodge of it by way of Suitcase, and Chua going to fall down again. NZ off of the assist of the Pocket. They're already taking down the Ancients. This is pre-10-minute Ancient camp. All right, there we go. I still call them Ancients? I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, this is looking way out of control. It would have to be multiple throws in order from Block Gangstas at this state of the game.
Well,
they have just complete run of the litter of the entire map, stealing all the jungle, as if that's valuable. Spirit Owl responded by the Frozen Dome, but Abrams charge into the wall and then just explodes all over his face like a big sloppy gusher.
just a little rude there. Just a little rude. But look, again, it's Boitano taking down Menace. Menace, not the lobby leader, like I'm used to. Straight up and down. I feel like this is I've used the term lead singer before. NZ, though, really taking control here. NZ was the one who needed to stand up in game number 2. Wasn't enough to win the game. Now standing up in game number 3 again. And Menace falling into line as well. The 2 carries here for Block Gangstas, certainly doing their job. Great adaptation from GBG to not really let XiaoPang in. As soon as I say that, Menace finds himself surrounded by 2 separate jerseys. Abrams chasing down the Kelvin. The shoulder charge is good. I don't think Kelvin's getting out of here either. Rice cooker eaten. But while that's happening, 2 players take down the tier 1 tower. Got to be looking for those Guardians.
Yeah, at least he got the Guardian, but Abrams is not making them come out of it for free. Even with the kill on Pocket, it was still a 1-for-1 trade with the Guardian, and they were losing I mean, they lost a walker on the opposite side, so it's certainly not worth it in the entire scope of everything. NZ takes Rumsey down, and yeah, sure, Guardian, fine. Kill on pocket, fine. I'm gonna need a lot more to start to get excited for XiaoPang back in this game.
One of the big things that XiaoPang are doing is that they are getting these structures that's ensuring that they're staying relevant with respect to flex spots, because, I mean, that's always one of the issues. When you look at some of these top-end teams, not only do they get a lead, but they wind up defending their opponent's ability to get flex spots, and XiaoPang has done a good job of ensuring that they do have those flex spots. Do they have the souls to make use of those flex spots? That's a different conversation for a different episode. But right now, the attention to flex spots is absolutely important.
Ooh, I don't know if that punch is what Mortano wanted, but hey, Mo and Krill with the paradoxical swap into the damage range of the Walker. Paradox still goes down after all of that, so regardless, good entry by the Mo and Krill, pressure on the Walker. Mortano's got to back away, Viscus has to leave. And Lash is, I mean, again, trying to trade for the Guardian on the side, but it's really not going to be worth it.
Trouble for Mortano. But the Mo and Krill falls down as well, so it's a 1-for-1. Meanwhile, right side, there are 2 yellow jerseys pushing up this Walker. If they get the Walker, it winds up being a decent trade.
No, I mean, oh yeah, if they get the
left-hand side.
If they get the Walker, but the timing on that is not favoring them at all. They're gonna get some damage on it at the very least, but this just feels like pennies, especially now with the Mirage rotate in.
Commit here. This looks so dumb, but I feel it, man. That's a that one I feel, rice cooker. I'm not gonna knock you for that one. You just the desire to get anything. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Right.
Objectively, the wrong choice, but that's the wrong choice that I understand, man. You just needed to be there. Honestly, I'm yelling at the Lash player there. Lash and Kelvin stick that. They can take that 2v1 fight despite being a zillion souls down, and they can take that Walker, and those are the small victories you look for when you're down 40k. Like, you don't have the Warhammer. You've got to look for the smaller engagements, because this is what's going to keep happening. Dodge the giant death ball, find your wins elsewhere. Gorilla it, man. I would have loved to see that stick too. Instead, it's more of the same. Everything coming up Millhouse for Block Gangstas.
Serves with another. Every time I see a Vindicta in the kill feed, I'm just gonna assume it's an assassinate. Oh, the viscous death sound. That's the only one that really makes you really feel guilty about it. Everyone else, yeah, good riddance. Get out of here, sucker. Viscous. Oh, my poor baby. What did I do?
Little squeaker.
Yeah. I mean, free mid boss, no contest available. Even there weren't any deaths in play. Pocket's pushing down. They're not worried about this at all. I'm really struggling to figure out how in the world XiaoPang are going to get back into this game.
One of the problems here again, like Warden, I'm not a Warden hater, but the more I hang out with you, the more I'm seeing why you hate this character so much. It requires a lead, it feels like. It has a hard time playing at parity, and when behind, it certainly is irrelevant.
Well,
right? Warden is scary when he walks at you, and if he's not scary when he's walking at you, then what's Jason without a knife, right?
Yeah, I mean, to be clear, I'm not a hater of Warden, I'm just unimpressed. Which I guess is probably a worse thing. Okay, Pocket's getting jumped on, but is able to cloak out of there. But hey, I mean, the Warden ultimate is making things scary. Looking over here, it's going to be the Frozen Dome forced out just for safety, which doesn't feel great because they're going to delay the inevitable, it feels like. Vindicta's continuing to chase. And this whole time, Paradox has just been running around with the urn, looking to get an even further soul lead. There's really not much that XiaoPang can do to contest.
Right now, it seems like a little bit of a break in the action. Block Gangstas just have to go to school. They got to do their homework, essentially. Push up these lanes, do the boring part of the MOBA, lane equilibrium and all that. Gotta have your waves.
That was a mistake. No stamina left But does not matter. The rest of the follow-up damage, the support coming out from the Mo and Krill. Okay, I guess that was intentional, not even close. Get baited, sucker.
Yup. Oh, shout out to Bailey. Big ultimate out of the Abrams. And a big bunch of nothing out of the Paradox.
Is this game?
We'll see Block Gangstas walk on into our shrines. And they'll take down shrine number 1 and shrine number B. The patron gets pushed down. Phase 1 complete. Now it's time to play in the pit. Woof.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say just let the patron go and play for the respawn with the transform patron, but like, is that even gonna help? Would that even have helped? I mean, it's going down so quickly. I don't even think Viscous being alive would have made it.
X's and O's are concerned.
Yeah. I mean, the numbers just look stupid. What was that? 133k to 78. Not quite double, which I have seen before with the game win, but it still looked